My father's from the English North, and I grew up going back there pretty regularly to visit. I can actually remember that smell of coal. I can remember my grandmother burning coal in their fireplaces, and I can remember just having this real visceral interest in this coal stuff. My father's also a geologist, and so there's sort of a geological component to this book. Then I think the other thing with this project is really my interest in and my love for Colorado. This is really home to me. The coal mining industry at that point in time, incredibly oppressive conditions, poor pay, the most violent, most dangerous workplaces in the entire United States as far as I can tell. Almost everyone in Colorado in one way or another, either sort of directly or indirectly, might be said to have been killing for coal. From the companies that were mining this fuel to the consumers, who by 1914 included virtually everyone in the state, to the miners themselves. Part of the story of these workers' movements is a really sort of heartwarming story of solidarity, but there was a dark side to these movements as well. These were guys who worked in incredibly tough conditions, who saw death all the time. Most of them viewed violence as an appropriate response to the conditions in which they labored. And one of the remarkable things about the aftermath of Ludlow, this incredible rebellion in which miners really sort of laid waste to southern Colorado over this 10-day period, is the ferocity of the violence that they unleashed. And so I think there are ways in which workers were sort of killing for coal in a way as well. The shift to coal power has sort of resulted in deepening social and environmental inequality, something that really characterizes the Colorado scene by the 1890s, something we're seeing today in China and India. And so, the sort of fossil fuel industrialization to some extent is sort of a phenomenon that makes all people a little bit better off in terms of sort of sheer economic terms. But those inequalities have historically just gotten deeper and deeper during that transition to fossil fuels. In the book, I try to unveil coal's centrality to everything from economic growth to social inequality. I really try to trace those connections that link producers, the miners underground, to consumers. And one of the reasons that I do this is I really want readers to ask harder questions about where their energy comes from and who suffers as a consequence.